US and Russia have fought over all sorts of things. Thermonuclear bombs, intercontinental ballistic missiles to carry those bombs, even getting men into space, or winning the most Olympic medals, or even making new chemical elements. You may think of the Cold War when I mention the US and Russia, the Soviet Union, but you should probably also think of the Transfermium Wars, where both countries spilled a lot of ink in an effort to come out the winner. Because it was both Dubnium in the USSR and Berkeley, California in the USA that claimed the discovery of this element, but after the Cold War, the IUPAC, don't make this long enough for you, the International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry, the group that decides the names for elements, they said the credit for this discovery should be shared between the two. But if the two countries no longer could battle over who discovered it first, they could at least then argue over the naming rights for the elements. The Soviets wanted to call it Niels Bohrium for Danish nuclear physicist Niels Bohr, but Americans wanted to call it Hahnium for the late German scientist Otto Hahn. So, American and Western Europeans started calling the element Hahnium, while the Soviet Union and Eastern Bloc countries went on calling it Niels Bohrium. So the IUPAC gave the name Unilpentium 105 UNP as a temporary name. Though the two countries still disagreed over the naming of this new element, the IUPAC then decided on Dubnium to honor the Russian discovery location. I think the only reason it got to be named after Dubnium is because America had so many elements already named for them, like Berkelium, Californium, Americium, and if the elements around 105, Rutherfordium and Seaborgium, were US, Dubnium can have a little have this element to offset all those American discoveries. So, yeah, even after all these decades of competition and mistrust, a third party had come in repeatedly to try to settle our squabbles, kind of like the UN. But now that we've got the name figured out for element 105, maybe now we can learn about Dubnium, right? So I did a little research, and lo and behold, scientists haven't been able to figure this element out either. Melting point? Unknown. Boiling point? Unknown. Density? Unknown. I guess that's what we get for battling with the Soviet Union, well, or eventually later Russia, to try to create a highly radioactive metal that doesn't even occur in nature. Only a few atoms have ever been made, so I guess our creation is for scientific research only. But wait a minute. We just created a radioactive element. Should we worry if this spreads that we might turn into a radioactive planet? Will our progenitors be a radioactive species? Well, that might sound like a thrill for a comic book guy, but Dubnium is so unstable that it would decompose so quickly that it would never affect humans. And because of Dubnium's half-life, it's only a half-minute long. That's short, by the way. There's no point in even worrying about its effects on the environment either. So, I'm afraid, sorry, comic book guy, but this won't turn us into a radioactive people or kill us by radiation. Maybe the United States and Russia once worked on trying to blow each other up with nuclear bombs and missiles, but when it came to the Dubnium battles and the Transfermium Wars, maybe, for once, we were both trying to work at the same time on creating something for science that will only help us learn.